We are back again on another episode of William versus the World. The most powerful and potent thing that you guys could do is to share the feed. Believe it or not, it is the most powerful thing that you could do to help us here on the live stream and also the band. This is a band page. Welcome to the Sepsis page, wherever you are viewing from, whether it be YouTube or Twitch, our home base here on Facebook. And I think we're also streaming live from YouTube. So welcome everybody and anyone that is watching now, in the past, or hopefully a lot more in the present. William versus the World is the only interactive live stream or chat. Hey, there's Scott. Here he is. This is the only interactive live stream and chat where musicians and music lovers unite. We're on a mission together, everybody, to explore the truth about the music industry, each day discovering top stories in the industry, of course, social media, and we also explore technology. Get ready, everybody, because it's time for another episode of Hans versus the World. No, I'm just kidding. It's another episode of I Can't Wait for Scott to go to Charlie Bravo's. I really can't. But for now, we're going to have to get ready for another episode of True Story. Me and Melissa technically met at Warped Tour. Technically, that's the first time I had ever seen the spirit of Melissa Wolf. That's the first time. We didn't know each other. We walked right past each other. And but I knew, you know what I'm saying? I acknowledged who she was. But that's the first time that we technically passed each other's person. Isn't that strange how life works? It's weird like that. But without further ado, let's get ready for another episode of I promised I wouldn't do any crazy celebrities today. We'll give it a break. No, there's no Willie Nelson, no Piper Fawn. Sorry, wrong industry. No Lincoln Parks, none of it. We're just going to do other stuff today. We're going to change gears. So if you would, get ready for another episode of William versus the World! I think we might turn on some fucking... Might turn on the guys from Instagram. Should we do an Instagram special today? Or should we just ignore everybody on Instagram? Ignore everybody on Instagram! Alright. Fuck them. If they're not going to come here, then they're not going to come there. We've got enough. We're live everywhere, for Christ's sakes. So if you notice today, I'm walking. I'm walking. What the fuck is going on? Today I'm walking my, what we like to call my Rock Fest. This is my Rock Fest vest. How the fuck did I say it before? My Rock Fest rock vest. Stupid. Yo, what's going on? Crazy Cajun in the Bildy McWildies. And we got Undead. What's going on? Undead in the Wildies. I'm glad you guys are here. Scott, I'm glad you're here. Hans, I knew you'd turn up. I knew you would. So everybody wants to know, the burning desire, is Hans going to the Murder Monday show on Saturday? Ravage is going, right? Somebody confirm this shit. No, come and see Ravager. Come and see Murder Monday. And I know because I looked on the like in the description of the event. I noticed there was some bands missing. Now, look, you guys can rest assured we'll be there, bright eyed and bushy tailed. There's a lot of shows coming up, you guys. There's a lot of shows. Speaking of shows, hey, what's going on, Mr. Harris? I appreciate you being here and stopping by. I definitely appreciate that. So, guys, without further ado, before we even get started today, I want to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Legion of Solace. Stop playing, man. Stop playing with it. So, if you guys don't know, Legion of Solace is a music promotion company and music collective in the greater Northeast. They are also proud sponsors and presenters at our very own third annual Swarmy Fest. Now, you may remember Legion of Solace from working with acts like the Amazing Nailbite, but I know them also from working directly with us on Swarmy Fest too. Like that was the first time that we ever got to work together on a project, and Legion of Solace is one of my favorite. And don't forget our friend Malcolm with Quarantine from Malachi, still to this day playing local artists. I'm not sure the exact schedule, and perhaps we can get a schedule from them of each and every day when they do that live stream. But I just wanted to read to you here because they are direct Swarmy Fest family, and because this episode is sponsored by them, I want to just read to you a little bit directly from their website. So this is Legion of Solace. You can go and check them out at legionofsolace.com. Legion of Solace, the music promotion you need. Legion of Solace is one stop for all your promotion needs. They are here to help you reach your audience and what your hard work deserves. I love that. Nice clean website too. They got their Facebook and Instagram all in the right corner here. Services, artist submissions. If you guys are a local band or you're touring or you're moving around the Northeast, Legion of Solace is an awesome group and music collective to rock and roll with. I say that and I mean it. Who and what is Legion of Solace, you might ask? Legion of Solace, most importantly, is a family of music lovers. Quote, we started in 2020 as a social media club that did free promotion for bands. We sponsored Blue Ridge Rock Festival in 2021. That's before the storm came and blew it all away. Over the last year, I'm not sure when this is written, but over the last year, Legion of Solace has started to build a business, and they've created an online store where all the profits goes to helping local bands and helping them grow to better help the music communities. They've created 3 live shows on Twitch where they promote local music and events. They do interviews with bands, have raffles, and will soon be starting a top 10 show. That's kind of cool. They also attend live shows and enjoy music and the people in the communities. In 2022, they started a sponsor program to help bands and tailor promotions and other great perks. They plan to sponsor a couple more bands and hosting events later on this year. I think they're trying to host their first one in their homecoming area this year in 2025. But make sure you head over to Legion of Solace and get plugged in with them to stay updated on the information. This is just an introduction, you know. Our Legion of Solace, our biggest goals are to start a traveling festival where local bands do not have to pay to play. I love that. And to be a hub for the local music world. I love those big, ambitious goals. An example is if a band were to drop from an event, we can be called to fill that spot with a local band no matter where the event is. I love that. It's kind of like being like well, there's a lot going on there. Like you could be like a dispatch almost, like a regional Band Dispatch. Each of the founders has great insight into different aspects of the music industry. I know that. I know some of them, and that is certainly true. We have band members and we have long time of being music fans, so we can give you the advice and help from the eyes of artists and loyal supporters. Whether you're new to the music scene or already have a long track record in the industry, we at Legion of Solace always bring passionate approach to every band that they are involved with, guys. Go check them out on their Facebook page at Legion of Solace. And be sure to check out Quarantine with Malachi to get you some videos played. But there they are. Go check them out. LegionofSauce.com, and also a sponsor of Swarmy Fest 3. There you guys go. How's everybody doing tonight anyway? Hey, you said Legion of Solace, Rock. No question. It's fucking flat. I think it's better to do live streaming with flat soda. Do you know all the soda was flat? Okay, guys. I mean, we've covered this, on past podcasts and streams. I figured we'd have some fun with it now. We've gone back and forth on this in the past. I want to see if anybody's mind has changed, if you guys have grown. I love when people look back. I mean, we probably have hundreds of thousands of videos, and people look back and say, Will, you're a fucking hypocrite. And I say, of course I'm a hypocrite. And people will say, what? You're a hypocrite? Oh, sure, of course. I'm the biggest hypocrite there ever was. And people are like, what the fuck? Like, isn't being a hypocrite supposed to be unattractive? Yeah, for you it is. Because you're fucking weak. See, being a hypocrite is unattractive if you're fucking weak. And you can't admit it. See, being a hypocrite or embarrassing yourself or being flawed or all of these things, it really holds you back if you're a pussy. Huh? If you're a fucking weakling, sure, being a hypocrite is bad news. Because you can never talk about it honestly. And you can never have conversations, admittingly, you can never have honest conversations that lead to the truth. You can't have conversations with yourself that lead to growth. So, of course, I'm a hypocrite. People go, damn, Will, you're a hypocrite? Hell yeah. Because hypocrites are the kind of people that say shit and do shit, and then later on they learn that it was fucking stupid. Hypocrites are people that say shit, regrettably, they're willing to admit it later on in life and readjust and update the way that they think about things. Now, I don't think being a hypocrite is attractive in the traditional sense. I get what you're saying. But there's nothing wrong with being a work in progress. There's nothing wrong with being wrong and being self-aware and taking accountability for it. See, the real issue is when you're wrong or you're a hypocrite and you refuse to cooperate and get past it. See, you did things when you were a teenager. You're a fucking hypocrite. You said you were going to back the gang up. You said you were going to stick with Paula, Candace, Monica, and Jeffrey on the side. But you promised all these people that you were going to be in the club. You have all those cool goals and all the things that you promised everybody in high school and in college. You thought you knew God. You thought you knew love. You thought you knew the truth. You thought you knew the depths and the core of the events in your family. So you said things and you did things and you expressed in ways where things came out of your mouth in your teens and in your 20s, and you feel differently about them now. You're a fucking hypocrite. You know, there's things that you said in your 30s that you feel differently about now. Your taste buds have changed. So in this sense, you have grown. You have adjusted yourself. You have chosen your words more respectfully. You've not been so impulsive with your English, and therefore that makes you a hypocrite. But the good kind of hypocrite, the kind of person that says one thing at one time in the past and has grown now and reformed and readjusted and re-energized their word association. They've re-energized their worth and value and purpose. You understand? So, it's not always bad to be bad. It's just bad to stay bad, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bad when you get stuck. You know? It's bad when you're not growing. We're all going to take a few bumps here and there, right? And there's probably hundreds of thousands of hours, well, I'm sure there is, of videos and sound bites of me saying things that I'd probably regret. You know, I've been live streaming for almost 20 years, you know. I've been documenting my life online for the last 14 years, almost every day. There's some people that have never met me before that really feel that they have a good understanding of who I am, and that's my fault. That's because I've been streaming every day and I have a certain output and projection, and I'm accountable and self-aware and responsible for that. You know, but it took me a long time to figure that out. And over the course, the internet has changed. What is appropriate? We've learned what is appropriate. We've learned what is acceptable, and what is appropriate and acceptable over time changes. Never in time have we been able to take a snapshot so clearly, so detailed, chronologically, like a library. We've never been able to document this like we have before. And I'm glad that I did. However, there is a consequence to that, and every now and then I run into a video of me saying some stupid shit that I don't agree with. And I could delete it. I could erase my past, but I don't. And I don't live in the past. Because of that, I'm able to look at it and go, oh gosh, you know, I'm grateful that I've readjusted my approach to the way that I present myself, because there's a time and place for everything. And I'm sure that'll change again. I'm sure there's something during this live stream that in the next 2 or 3 years, you know, it might not be my choice of words for the day, you know? And that's true. That's true for how you spend your time with people. That's true for your taste buds, man. You move up or a little down or a little in or a little out or a little left or a little right, a little hot or a little cold, and things will change in your life. So just when you think you know everything about yourself and about the person sitting next to you, just remember that we're all a work in progress. All right. So I know some of you have probably changed your minds on this. I know throughout time, my mind has changed on this. But our friend here says, quote, "It would be impossible financially. But what fans don't get about playing without backing tracks live," Blackie Lawless explains. "All somebody has to do is record it and listen to all the mistakes." Okay. Blackie Lawless defended Wasp's use of backing tracks and explained a detail that fans don't understand about playing live without using backtracks. Backing tracks are widely regarded as a negative addition to live shows by some. Many see them as a crutch or a cop-out, allowing bands to play with less effort or skill, yet produce a great show for their fans. However, some songs and bands play music that necessitates the use of backing tracks. Blackie Lawless of Wasp spoke up about them in a recent interview with Guitar World. The musician stated the simple reason why the band utilizes backtracks. Quote, "It's because we don't have the personnel," he says. "We're doing the stuff from the Crimson Idol." That must be their music or something. "And there's 100-piece orchestra going on in there. Taking that on tour would be impossible financially." And he's right. He goes on to say, "The first time we did Crimson Idol live, we did it without orchestration. Did it sound good?" he says. "Yeah. But when we did it with the orchestration, I stood in the middle of the room in rehearsal, and I swear to you, it was like a religious experience. I thought to myself, if I'm a fan, this is what I want to hear." He goes on to say, "So that's the reason I do it. It enhances the experience. I want people to hear the records the way that they were intended to be heard. Not like Rasmal version." I'm not sure what that word means. Further, the interviewer noted that fans assume Wasp use backing tracks to simulate Blackie's voice and guitars. The musician disregarded these assumptions as saying, quote, "All somebody has to do is record it and listen to the mistakes. Then they would understand. You can try as hard as you can, man, but you're gonna screw up. Rock and roll was never meant to be perfect, and if you try, it ain't gonna be." There you guys have it. What do you guys think of that? Hans, you're still a growing person. I've got no comment for you during this live stream. If you want an accurate William Savant comment to that, see me after the stream. If you want to know how I feel about that, we could talk about it. I knew you was gonna laugh. Yeah, you get my humor. I appreciate you. I feel like this never used to be so far. There we go. There we go. It's, you know what it is I think my eyes are bad, and throughout the weeks that I've been doing the podcast here, we never did any podcasting here. As time goes on, I keep sliding the fucking camera and the computer closer to me because I can't see anything. I realize this. And the thing is like I've had glasses all my life, and I just don't, I don't use them. I've never used them. I should show you guys a picture. I look like a different person. So if you ever see me, I'm always squinting at shit. If you ever notice. Scott says, "I'm not one for backing tracks," he says, "unless needed if a song has orchestra in it, like our friend there. You are not going to bring a whole orchestra with you." Yeah, no, that's just not real. Scott's right. Then you need a bus, then you need all the hotel rooms. Where you're going to put everybody's dirty laundry. This could get ugly. If you guys don't know, then you don't know. Bands that need backing tracks that cover up guitar, drum, bass, and vocal need to call it a day, Scott says. The point of live is live. True emotion is key. If you fuck up, at least you're honest. I can't argue with it. I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. I have heard, this is what I will say. I have heard a lot of, I need Melissa for this. Melissa! Let's see. Would you please come here? Would you be willing to spare a moment? I want to share this. I want to share and express this with you and see what your thoughts are. In the beginning, when me and Melissa started playing out and playing live, we were the worst sounding fucking band in the entire region, hands down. I mean, we couldn't stay on beat, we couldn't stay tuned, we didn't remember lyrics, there was no rhyme or reason, there was no stage presence. We brought lights to light cigarettes on them. Now, look, in the beginning, you would have never seen, listen to me, when we first started playing hard rock and heavy metal in the New England scene in 2011, you would have never seen a fucking laptop on stage. No. Never. And I'm not saying for no reason, I'm just telling you, that type of gear was not affordable. You had to have $1 billion to have a MIDI setup or a computer setup on stage with you at that level. Teenagers and 20-year-old kids and even the young folks in their 30s didn't have laptops on stage. Only big super celebrity bands had computers on stage at that time. Now, let alone when we first started playing, it wasn't until years and like you might see at Warped Tour, the coolest thing you would see at Warped Tour, okay, is like somebody bringing okay, like you know how we have the sample pad. Rob has the sample pad for the snare bombs and for bass drops and stuff. In 2010, 2011, 13, 14, 15, at most kids, guys, they came out, they brought out the beat pads, they had the sample pads, bass drops and stuff like that. In local and regional music, you very, very rarely ever saw. I never saw anybody use a backtrack. Never. Not in local and regional music. Not even the best bands at that time used backtracks. Now, and we were hands down the worst sounding band ever when we came out, for sure. Now, years later, you know, pre-pandemic, we saw maybe one or two bands would get on stage with backtracks. I didn't think nothing of it. I really didn't. It was new. I understood why people did it. I understand, and we can get to that in a moment. I understand why, because I don't think people really know all the full reasons why people use backtracks. I think people just think that people are cheating, which is not accurate. But we'll get to that in a moment. We had never seen people with backtracks pre-pandemic. After we came out of the lockdowns and people went back on stage, all of a sudden it was like the explosion of backtracks. All of a sudden it went from like no backtracks to everybody had them. And that's when I never thought about it. It never really crossed my mind. It was never a topic. Nobody was even writing about it. The bloggers, nobody really cared about it so much. And then all of a sudden, post-pandemic, everybody started having laptops on stage. I don't know if it was because of AI or computers or things got cheaper or the amount of time that everybody spent at home. I mean, another thing, everybody was a producer and everybody was a DJ by the time the pandemic was over. Guys that used to buy hip-hop beats and instrumentals, guys that used to buy from all the local rap producers stopped buying beats. And I was like, I wonder what happened. Oh, it's because they all bought their own laptops. Everybody figured out how to use the auto-tune. Everybody went home. Everybody was trapped in their houses for a while. People that never played Call of Duty or used Facebook before signed up. People who swore to God that they'd never had a fucking Snapchat. People who thought that they would never date online. People thought that they would never play video games. People thought that they would never be a DJ. All of a sudden, hobbyists became professionals. For the first time, people realized, holy shit, I can make music on my fucking phone. All of a sudden, people stopped hiring producers and photographers. People realized, shit, I could be a photographer with my iPhone. Fuck do I need a photographer for? I am the photographer. What do I need a producer for? I am the producer. I've got a laptop. You know what I mean? I am the model. Fuck you need a model for? You're the producer, you're the model, you're the chef, you're the... The point I'm trying to make is we had this huge explosion of backtracks post-pandemic. The lockdowns came out and everybody was like tech savvy. We went from people who never wanted to use social media, and when we came out in 2021, everybody had a fucking website. Everybody was a coder. Everybody was a blogger. I said, holy shit. We were podcasting for years. At that point, everybody was going live. Of course, they're not anymore. Everyone's bored of that. But every band was a podcast. Everybody was going live. Soccer moms were going fucking live. Remember that shit? So I'm saying, we had no backtracks, before the lockdowns. When we came out of lockdowns, everybody was going live on StreamYard and Zoom. Everybody was a fucking streamer on Twitch. And one other thing that they had is everybody had a laptop on stage after that. I just noticed it, like, holy shit. But this is why I called Melissa in here. In the beginning, when we started making music, nobody had any laptops on stage. There was a couple here and there. And then as we came out of the lockdown, a lot of bands had laptops on stage. And I never noticed until so many of them did. And what made me notice is the fact that we didn't. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, I noticed that we sounded different. I said, I said, man, we got to embrace this. You know what I mean? We're kind of old school. So I said, what we should probably do is learn how to play better than ever. So that way, when everybody's got their laptops up there, we're still really tight. Let's get as tight. Let's start playing like we've got laptops. Let's get in the mind state of we're going to play music the closest we can to computers rather than actually having computers on stage. Let's try to compete and play like that. So that's been our mindset ever since then. But what I wanted to point out is since we've come out of the lockdowns and people have been using backtracks, man, people have been getting good at them. Now you may go, I like bands with backtracks, or you may go, I don't like bands with backtracks. That's not what this is about. What I'm trying to tell you is, this is what I've noticed, because I've been on stage with hundreds and thousands of bands. Bands that use backtracks sound really good, and I can't imagine them not using them. Like the bands that use backtracks, what the fuck would they do if they turn them off? Like, if we had backtracks and you just turned them off, so what? Like, we can fire keyboards like it's going out of style. But we can hire DJs and put laptops on the stage and take them off. You know what I mean? But what if you're a band that can't do that? So that's the thing. Like, I noticed that there are a lot of bands that. So I think it's great if you have them on stage, but you don't need them. That's kind of my. Like, if we were the band that used backtracks, or if we ever had to, my position is, I guess use them because fans don't give a shit if WWE is real or not. Like, people that love WWE, this is no knocking on wrestling or nothing like that. It's just people like fake stuff. People know that Chicken McNuggets are fake. It's no surprise to them. They know that there's no nutrition value. Before somebody pops a nugget in their mouth, you're like, excuse me, there's no nutrition value in that. You can get a real piece of chicken right now, for half the price, and there's all kinds of nutrition value in it. It's good for you. It promotes health. No, but people would rather have a chicken nugget, right? It's because it's tasty, it's instant, it's easy, it's salty, and it makes you feel good. That's what people want. People don't want what's authentic. People want what makes them feel good. People don't want real, at least not Americans. People don't want real music. Americans don't want real food. They don't want real love. What they want is something instant that feels good. And that's Western entertainment, People, they don't have time to be intellectual. You'd have to stop and think, and it takes work. You'd have to do it over and over again. Truly intellectual music, smart music like, I don't know, Paganini, Tchaikovsky or something like that, or Wagner. You can't like it instantly. Even some like Pantera or Tool, right? Stuff like that, you got to listen to it a couple times, because as folks that are trying to be or engage on an intellectual depth, right? You got to listen to music more than once to experience that depth. And people just don't want to do the work. You might have to read about the composer. You might have to open the CD and figure out who played bass and who was the producer and what studio was it recorded in. People don't give a shit anymore. People don't care in WWE that it's a performance, that it is fake, that it is theater, that it is choreography. And I've come to find out, when I'm watching the bands that do really well with backtracks, the fans of those bands don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They don't care if they live. And look, I'm not going to put any bands out there because I think it's just mean-spirited. You know what I mean? That's not the nature of it. But we know some bands that they lip sync most of the set, and their fans don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care. It's just like, you guys remember Britney Spears? Remember when everybody found out that Britney Spears was lip syncing? Her fans didn't give a fucking shit about that, man. They don't care. I remember back in the 80s when everybody found out that wrestling was fake. There was a certain amount of people that were heartbroken. But, nah, man. People just want their entertainment, Hans says that music is not an instant satisfaction. Well, no, not for you, because maybe you think about it differently. Scott says the sad part is bands. Try to fool the fans that pay their hard-earned money to see them, which nowadays is a lot of money to go to show. He's got a good point there. I mean, that's something that I don't think gets discussed enough. If you ask me personally, I'm with Scott on this one. I don't want to pay, $150 to see anybody do karaoke. I'm gonna tell you right now. Now look, I know everybody that's that uses backtracks, especially for vocals and guitars, is probably going to get really mad at me. But I'm with Scott on this one. If you've got an orchestra track, or if there's something digital happening in the music that can't be reproduced by human beings on stage, then okay. Let's do the backtrack thing. I understand it. There's an orchestra playing. You can't have a 300-piece orchestra, on a small stage at the bar. That's not going to work out. However, if you have a backtrack on, I think this is where I draw the line. I think if your backtracks are faking vocals and guitar, I think that's where I got to draw the line. I think that's the only place I'm gonna draw the line. But that's hey man, that's to each their own. Live and let live. This is your life, man. Like, at the end of the day, music is perspective, and like I said at the beginning of the conversation, we all don't like the same thing on our pizza. You know what I mean? You hear the world literally different than I do. So where somebody goes, hey man, I like hip hop. That's because your ears literally hear and experience the world differently. Some people might not like the sound of an electric guitar till later on in life, just like they didn't like asparagus or deviled eggs. It means that you've not matured, you have not grown, your brain has not expanded, you have not entered a depth of your life yet where your taste buds have advanced and grown. You have not cleansed your musical palate to the point where these sounds and these frequencies are enriching and enjoyable. And to that, I say give it time. I really do. Our friend here says, I don't want to fuck your name up. I'm not going to fuck your name up. I just refuse to because it really is difficult. I'm an electronic musician, he says. I use gear, not backing tracks, but they have big impact on his music. But here's the thing, like, he's an electronic musician. You know, we can't, I mean, can we really say electronic musicians, is it not within the realm? Is it not within their toolbox? Are they not encouraged to use electronics to make sound? See, if I was an electronic musician, I would tell everybody to fuck their mom, and I would use all electronic stuff because I would be like, I'm electronic. You know what I'm saying? See, I think we get into the beef with rock and roll and hard rock. I think because there are like traditional, there's like people that are like analog traditional people, I guess, who are just like, I'm analog. I can't tell the difference because I'm half deaf, so I can't tell. I can't tell the difference. Some of the best producers in the world, I guess, can. I can't tell the difference between an analog amplifier and a digital amplifier. Not me. I know everybody else will tell you. They'll tell you till they're blue in the face that they can do it. I can't do it. You know what I mean? You get all kinds of experts and people that'll tell you, how well they're able to decipher this. And there'll be YouTubes of them doing taste tests and A/B tests and everything. But go watch for yourself. Nobody ever gets it right. I think electronic musicians shouldn't have to worry about it. I think electronic musicians should make fun of acoustic musicians for struggling. Because what's the perk of being an electronic musician? You get to fucking laugh at everybody with it while they're tuning their guitars. Ha ha. Bah. You're already in tune. While everybody's out there struggling with drum keys, you're just like... Fuck all that. Fuck music theory. Technique, nothing. I'm just playing with you. There's a lot of technique that goes into being an electronic musician. And I know this because the first musician job that I ever had, the first instrument I ever played, the first musical job that I can ever remember having, I was a DJ. And I was a turntable DJ, and I sample and scratch and do like juggling and battling and stuff like that. So, yeah, I was once an electronic musician myself, so to speak. Scott said, this is why I don't download songs. I love opening a jacket to CD, reading who created it, where it was recorded, what gear they used. Hell, I use Jackson guitars. Most bands I listen to use them. The strings I use are Ernie Ball, etc. I love to learn things about the creation of an album. Me too. And how much a band puts into it. Who wrote the lyrics, created the music. Scott, you should follow producer Sylvia Massey. Hans, you can tag her in the chat. She's amazing. Me and Melissa love her to bits. But you want to talk about how, iconic and modern records are created and all the really true behind the scenes, digital and analog tricks and just off the wall, unhinged, cool stuff that happens at studios with the variety of techniques and tools. Sylvia Massey, you gotta go check out producer Sylvia Massey. With the exception of our own producer, Mr. Glenn Robinson, I would say if there's one producer, like if I could make an acoustic album with one producer, I would write. If Sylvia Massey called me on the phone and said, can we make an album for free with Sepsis and Sylvia Massey and do an acoustic album, I would get on a fucking plane. And here's the thing, me and Melissa hate working with other producers. We love our producers so much. I hope we never use another one. I really do. We're not even interested in working with other producers at this time because we are on a quest with our current producer and we are getting close to a sound and we are getting close. We are on a journey getting closer and closer to a sound that we've always wanted our whole lives. So that takes a lot of time working with a producer that you like. And as you guys know, we have a really tight relationship and musical relationship with our current producer. But if there was one producer that I would do a project with outside of our producer now, it would be like something amazing with Sylvia Massey. That would be crazy if I had the time and the budget and the luck. That's what I would be doing. Yo, but Scott, I just think you would be. The reason why I'm recommending her is not just for you to become like a fan of her work, but I think you might be able to get some of the same things I've gotten from it, and that's just like. First of all, she's a great entertainer. It gives like really fun commentary, and I think that she might be able to hold your attention span. But through all of the bits, there's these really juicy producer nuggets in like just recording techniques. And if you're looking and you know you're not one of those people that are going to dissolve in a 3-minute video. Sylvia has got some Easter eggs in there that are worth checking out. So I guess let me see if I got a short one because I didn't realize how much fucking time I'm sitting there running my mouth just talking. I don't even know what we've talked about. This one's a short one. Are you guys excited about Warped Tour? I was telling you that's where me and Melissa, well, we didn't meet at Warped Tour, but the first time I ever saw Melissa Wolf was at Warped Tour. Warped Tour is rumored to be coming back, everybody. Before Warped Tour comes back, I think everybody should go watch all the documentaries about, I can't never say that word, documentaries? Documentary. How am I saying, how do I say it? Documentary. Documentary. Am I adding something? Documentary. That's the same thing. Documentary. I'm gonna start calling it documentary. Documentary. No, there's been a lot of documentaries on this. There's been a lot of documentaries. There's been a lot of documentaries on this. And think of our friend Terry. There you go. Okay. Documentary. Menery. Menery. I don't like it. I can't think of nothing to like. We should stop saying it because it's gonna wind up being one of those words that your brain is gonna make it sound like something else. It's gonna start sounding like dog food. And you're gonna be like, what? What am I saying? You can only say something or look at something or do something so long before it becomes crazy. Seriously. You could be getting a blowjob somewhere. Have it go on too long and you're going to blow your fucking brains out. Seriously. You could be getting a back rub. Have it go on too long. It's going to seem like it's insane. Listen to the same song over and over again. That's right. What if I trapped you in a room, seriously, for 30 hours and I just played Hi, My Name Is by Eminem? Hi, my name is Hi, my chicka. Hi, my name Dr. Dre. I need to be locked away and grab the tape. I need to be operating and all that shit. Oh, you be go fucking crazy. I chased it with a stapler and erased the chase and erased the chase on the papers and erased them later. You go fucking nuts. Hi. It'll be the next time I put it on again. The number 30, here we go. Hi, my name is chicka. You go fucking stop the tape. I need to be locked away. Dr. Dre, operate. You go out of your fucking mind. Are you kidding me? I only did it for 30 seconds. What if I did that for 30 hours? I chased it with a stapler and told her to change the name on the paper. And oh my God, holy fucking shit. Anything, you could do anything or say anything. Do it long enough and it's crazy. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Too much of anything is a bad thing. I don't care if you like chocolate milk. I'm telling you, I had this lady one time. She worked at Annabelle's ice cream. The shit is delicious. I had a never-ending supply of fucking Annabelle's. I was like, I'm so glad that you work at Annabelle's. Now we can have Annabelle's ice cream every fucking night. Well, wouldn't you know? That's exactly what the fuck we had. Annabelle's every fucking night. I'm surprised that I have normal blood sugar because it was Annabelle's for 30 months. You know, Rocky fucking Road, Charleston fucking Chew, whatever the fuck they're doing over there now. We had it. I felt like it was the Westland Creamery. All right. Are you ready for Warped Tour? Because it might be happening. At least that's what they say here in Metal Ejection. Melissa doesn't believe it. According to a report by Rockfeed, multiple sources familiar with the matter have alluded to the return of Warped Tour 2025. The alleged return will be overseen by, get this, Live Nation. Crazy. With the involvement of founder Kevin Lyman. So I want you guys, when you guys get a chance, I want you to look up the reputation of both of these parties. Don't look at me like that. Just look them up yourself. Look up Live Nation, what they're in court for, and then look up our friend Kevin Lyman and his challenges with Warped Tour. It's not an easy thing. I'm not being fresh. I'm just telling you to check it out. Don't look at me like that. According to multiple sources, I love that. According to multiple sources that nobody will name, that they're familiar with the matter. Well, there is no matter because there's no scheduled date. But Warped Tour will celebrate its anniversary with a series of festivals next year when Warped Tour returns 2025. You know what this sounds like, Hans? It sounds like Warped Tour logo cash grab. This sounds like an event that isn't Warped Tour, but they take the Warped Tour logo and they use it as nostalgia. They put the Warped Tour logo on a bunch of events that aren't Warped Tour, call it Warped Tour, and then sell $3 billion tickets for it, like Fyre Fest 2. Is that a cash grab?
That's what I'm saying. This shit sounds like.
Oh, man, this is Warped Tour cash grab. Quote, the Rock Festival will now be overseen by Live Nation, who doesn't know anything about cash grabs. Although festival founder Kevin Lyman, I mean, Lie is in his name. His name's Kevin Lie, man. His name's Kevin Lyman. I can't make it up. I didn't name him that. He said, Lyman is said to be heavily involved. A request for comment, now we know we're not playing. Request for comment from Live Nation was not returned. That's because they're in court. How can Live Nation ever return a comment if they're always in court? It's like they're exhausted. If you want to get a comment from Live Nation, you got to catch them coming out of court. Warped Tour originally ran as a full-on touring festival between 1995 and 2018 before it shit the bed, with some 25 anniversary one-off shows happening in 2019 manufactured to cash grab. Lineman teased a possible return, and he flirted with the festival under a different name, probably for tax reasons. But of course, the pandemic got in the way. There was also the talk of Attila Chris Franzak buying the festival. So, Franz, I guess, was thinking about buying the festival. Never happened. It never came to fruition. As Lyman said to Kerrang! In 2019 interview regarding the shutdown of the festival, it got very frustrating around 2017. I was challenged by the fractured fan base. The fractured fan base, the sense of community, and what I got involved in for this, and what brought me into a punk rock that I said, if it has changed this much, maybe it's time for me to wind this thing down. 2017, no matter who I put up, it was like, F that band, where's this band? Hey, but can I tell you something? That hasn't changed, huh, Melissa?
Not at all.
When they do Rockfest or they do Louder Than Life, everybody just fucking complains about it. When Linkin Park came back, everybody complains about it. When Dave Grohl gets a piece of trim, everybody complains about it. The fans complain no matter what.
So true.
We dropped the Swarmy Fest. I'm not even bullshitting. We dropped the fucking Swarmy Fest bands, the best goddamn bands qualified for the festival, and people that have never been to a Sepsis show, people that have never said hello to me in the scene, were bitching about the show. People who've never said boo to Melissa Wolf. People who've never said congratulations for the 3 awards we've won. People who've never come out and bought in a single ticket and shaken my hand were bitching about the Swarmy Fest lineup, saying that we missed bands. It's like, what are you talking about? If your claim is that we missed any bands on Swarmy Fest, let's get 2 things clear. The only bands that we missed are the bands the promoter fucked over when we had to let a couple go because we didn't have 2 stages. So if we owe anybody apology, if we missed anybody, it was the bands that we had to reschedule with. Wake the fuck up. And number 2, if you're saying that we missed anybody, then you're actually excluding the bands that we had to formally reschedule with, and you're ignoring the bands that actually are qualified and made it on the bill first come, first serve. With the exception of our co-headliner, the way we book Swarmy Fest is first come, first serve. So we book with bands that want to book with us. We don't book with bands that don't like us. We don't book shows with people that don't want to book with us. And we definitely don't book shows or hang out with people that talk shit online. It makes sense. We would never want to book or partner up with bands with nasty, fucking competitive, jealous-ass attitudes. Because to say for 1 second that we missed your band or any other band is to say that the bands that are on the bill aren't qualified to be there. So you could be mad at us or hate us all you want, but what's your fucking beef with all the bands that made it on the bill? Hey, I'm out of here. I'll let you guys think about it for the night. I love all of y'all. All the people that know what we're doing on the show, all the people that are booked for Swarmy Fest are the bands that know what the fucking mission is. I'll see you guys tomorrow on another episode of William versus the World.